Alright, guys, today we're going to be reacting to what's the dumbest thing an American has ever said to you. This is going to be very funny because we say some weird stuff. Very weird stuff, man, because our public education is poo-poo. Very poo-poo. So we're just going to jump in. Make sure you like to subscribe. Let's go.
Thing an American has ever said to you?
So I'm Malawian. I live in the US, but my first time in the US was in 2012 in San Diego. And so one time we went to a restaurant with this girl and I think three other guys. And so we're standing in line. I think it was a fish restaurant, and then we get the menus, right? Like the one of the places you go in front and then you order, and then you have to go back. And so I'm looking at the menu. I mean, something you do at a restaurant, and this girl, nobody asked her, but just looks at the waiter. Like, I wasn't even at the front of the line, but she looks at the waiter and she says, "Oh, so these two, so me and my best friend, we need some time because they're from Malawi and that's in Africa. So I don't think they'll be ready to order anytime soon. So they'll need time and maybe have a lot of questions." Well, my best friend and I looked at each other and we're like, yeah, we're not eating here, not with them, we're going home. So, yeah.
Cap.
So I was living in New York at the time, and I'm originally from southern Spain, and I was at this dinner party in New York City, and I was talking to this guy, and he finds out I'm from Spain, and he goes like, "Dude, so how long does it take you to drive from Spain to Manhattan?" And I was like, "You did not ask that question." And I looked at my friends, and my friends were like, "You did." So I was like, I'm not gonna see this guy ever again in my entire life, so at least let's have a laugh at it. And I looked at him straight in the eye and seriously.
Bro, that's stupid, man. That's stupid. Sounds too stupid to be true, man. Sounds too stupid to be true.
Could, and I was like, well, depending on the traffic and the fog, because the ocean, it might take 18 to 20 hours. And he elbowed his friend and was like, "Dude, I told you it takes longer to drive to Texas." And I was like, he did not say that, but he did. He actually did. Really? Oh my god, it was one hell of a night.
Well, I am from northern Mexico, and 2 years ago I was on the beach. I was talking to an American, and he thought I was British. I think it was because of my accent. So I asked him what he thinks about Mexicans, and he said something like this: "Well, Mexicans don't prosper because they are dark, short, ugly, eat beans every day, and they have no education. So they have to go to my country." And then I said, "What? Are you mental? I am Mexican, bro. There's nothing wrong with being dark. And yeah, I like beans, but today I had lobster for dinner, and I am about 4 inches taller than you. And by the way, I think I am more handsome than you."
Oh my god, I have so many of this.
That was cringy, man. That was very cringy. Very cringy.
But this would specifically stand out. I'm from Venezuela. So Latinos, we look very different from each other. We don't have a specific look that we all look, right? So I currently live in Atlanta, and Atlanta has a very good baseball team, the Braves. And one of their top players is Venezuela, Acuna. I was at this sports bar with American friends, and we were talking about Acuna and how he was Venezuelan, and Venezuela has great talent for baseball players. And he said, "Oh, Acuna's Venezuelan?" And I was like, "Yeah, isn't that great? He's great." And he was like, "Oh, but he's black." And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "I didn't know Venezuelans were black." And I was like, "What?"
So I was an exchange student in the US, and I would randomly get asked by questions. And then one time I said I was Asian because Philippines is in Southeast Asia. And then they literally said, "Philippines is in Asia? I thought it was in Europe." Girl. And then one time I was in the bus, I got asked, "Do you have school? Do you have farm animals in the Philippines? Do you know what an iPhone is?" Girl, what do you think of us? Some sort of a different planet? Like, this is why you need to go to school. Oh my god.
How much time you got, motherfucker? I could do this shit all day.
Damn, man. Americans have a bad, 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 or bad, bad, bad reputation. There's some dumb people over here, man. There's some dumb people. Don't get me wrong. I don't know where these people are hanging out.
I'm going to Florida. Oh, really? Are you driving? Are you flying? I drove and it took me 17 hours. 17 hours? How many days is that? I want to visit Europe. Oh, really? What countries are you visiting? Oh, you know, the basics. No, I don't know. There's no tutorial to visiting countries. Do you mean Italy, France, Spain, Portugal? Stop it. Portugal's not in Europe. It is. However, let's pull up a map. That way we know what countries you would like to visit. Okay, now looking at this map, where would you go? I would go to the Netherlands because it's next to Amsterdam. It is the capital city of the Netherlands. We are looking at a map, god damn it!
When I was 14, we emigrated from Ireland to America, and obviously because I was 14, I had to go to school. So my first day of school, I went into my history class, and they were showing Far and Away as a movie about Irish immigration. Hilarious. And, they were showing all the thatch roof cottages and everything like that. And a girl turns around to me and she's just like, "Oh my God, is that what your house is like back in Ireland?" And I was just like, "Yeah, totally." And she obviously didn't get the sarcasm. Sarcasm isn't a very big thing there.
How many of you guys still? I mean, I'm okay. I'm okay to being. I'm okay with Americans. I'm okay with Americans being roasted. I'm not totally okay. I'm just wondering how many of these stories are true, right? Like, are true, right? Like, they sound kind of cringy. Very cringy. I mean, there might be truth, and we might be very stupid. We might be, but some of these stories are very cringy, very like, really? That's what happened, kind of thing. Well, but I don't know.
But also, this is the 90s. We had no internet that back then, or Google or whatever, so people didn't really know much about it. So yeah, I could have made up anything, but that was one of the few things that was said to me when I lived in America.
Okay, so middle school Adia was on the bus ride home from school, 8th grade, right? And, all the cool kids were 8th graders, were like in the back of the bus. We're just talking, and this kid, I remember his name, Brandon, asks, "So when do you get your thing?" And I'm like, "What thing?" Like, he's like, "You're Indian, right?" And I was like, yeah, I'm Indian. Like, what thing? And he was like, "Don't you have to get that thing in your forehead?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Don't you have to get surgery? Or like, don't they have to like implant that thing in your forehead?" This man was talking about bindis. He thought we got... It's a sticker. I don't
Really?
know.
Really? It's a sticker? I didn't even know. I didn't know that was a sticker.
Yeah.
There you go.
Back in college, I was working as a technical support representative in one of the biggest telcos in the US. One time I had this very angry customer because she's been transferred from one line to another. That's why she's very enraged. But I managed to calm her down when I promised to do my best to solve her problem because she's now on the right line. While I am rebooting all of her system, including her internet, she asked, "Am I talking to a monkey from the Philippines?" Then I was like, what do you mean by that? Of course, I have to pretend I don't know what she meant. And she answered, never mind. You can't even grow apples there." And I was like, "You know what, ma'am? I wanted to tell you something. In the Philippines, we are producing one of the sweetest banana in the world. And we're shipping it to the US. You know why?" She asked why. "Because in the Philippines, only monkeys eat bananas. That's why we're shipping it there."
So, we went to the zoo a few months ago, and we're looking at those kangaroos, and I say something to my daughter along the lines of, "Oh, look at these kangaroos." And this lady behind me corrects me and says, like, "Oh no, those are wallabies," which they weren't, they were kangaroos. I know the difference. Anyway, I'm not correcting her. we move on, and eventually she hears me talk to my family, and she's like, "So where's your accent from?" And I told her from Austria, and she's like, "Oh, you should have known then that those are not kangaroos."
I mean,
I didn't know she wasn't from Austria. Oh, well, Austria, not Australia. That makes sense. No, she's from Austria. I understand.
no shade to Americans because I do dumb shit all the time.
We all do. Don't worry about
But I
it.
once had a lady comment on a post when I said, "Thank God it's Friday," and she said, "It's Thursday, hun." And I said, "No, in Australia it's Friday." And then she accused me of gaslighting her, to which I answered, "I'm going to blow your mind when I tell you that it's actually summer in Australia too, while you're in winter." And then she called me a terrorist.
Well, there you have it, folks. They might be right. They might be right. We Americans can be this stupid, but we might be right. I don't know. Right? No, I'm wondering. There's all the people, all the videos like that. Like, what's the dumbest thing an Englishman or Russian has ever said to you? I don't think so. That would not probably have a lot of views, right? But we do say some dumb shit. I'm not gonna lie. Educational system is very bad. Not all the places. Some places are very good, but some places, ooh, my God. I have a bachelor degree in music and education, and I have a master's degree in music performance. I will never teach in the public system in the United States, ever. You can pay me $1 million. Never, never. I'll let probably a private school. I would like a tutor. I would. Outside of that, nah, man. But let me know what you guys see in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next one. I'm out.